Joe Holmes is an American guitarist best known for his time playing with Ozzy Osbourne in the mid to late 1990s, as well as his earlier work with legendary guitarist Randy Rhoads, bandmate David Lee Roth, and the hard rock band Lizzy Borden. Born on June 1963 in New Jersey and raised in California, Holmes grew up during the explosive era of hard rock and heavy metal. He was heavily influenced by guitar icons such as Ritchie Blackmore, Tony Iommi, and Randy Rhoads, the latter becoming a particularly significant figure in his musical path. Holmes studied guitar under Randy Rhoads before Rhoads' untimely death in 1982. This mentorship shaped his technical skill and musical approach, blending melodic phrasing with heavy, aggressive riffs. His early career gained traction when he joined Lizzy Borden in the mid-1980s, contributing to their theatrical heavy metal image and sound. Later, in 1991, Holmes briefly played with former Van Halen frontman David Lee Roth during Roth's A Little Ain't Enough tour, further cementing his status as a capable and charismatic guitarist. Joe Holmes' entry into David Lee Roth's band marked an intriguing chapter in the guitarist's career, blending raw talent with the high expectations of joining one of rock's most flamboyant frontmen. Before linking up with Roth, Holmes had already made a name for himself in the Los Angeles music scene. Known for his precise yet aggressive playing style, Holmes had studied under the legendary Randy Rhoads and built a reputation for technical skill and stage charisma. His abilities caught the attention of numerous prominent musicians, but the opportunity to work with Roth was a career-defining moment. Holmes joined Roth's touring lineup in 1991 during the promotion of the A Little Ain't Enough album. While he didn't appear on the studio recordings, his live performances brought a renewed sense of vitality to Roth's shows. On stage, Holmes delivered blistering solos, tight rhythm work, and a commanding presence that complemented Roth's larger-than-life personality. Fans quickly noticed his chemistry with the band, and he was praised for both honoring the classic guitar parts and adding his own flair. Joe Holmes' journey into Ozzy Osbourne's band is one of those rock and roll stories that feels almost like fate. Holmes was no stranger to the heavy metal scene. In fact, he had once taken guitar lessons from the legendary Randy Rhoads, Ozzy's original and beloved guitarist. This connection not only gave Holmes a deep appreciation for Ozzy's style, but also added an emotional layer to his audition process. When the opportunity arose, Holmes submitted a tape to Ozzy's camp and was called in to audition in person. His playing immediately caught attention. Holmes possessed both the technical precision and the fiery energy that Ozzy's music demanded. More importantly, he had the ability to perform the classics with respect, while still injecting his own personality into the riffs and solos. By September 1995, Holmes was officially announced as Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist. His first live performance with the band was at the Ozzfest Festival in Phoenix, Arizona, an intense debut in front of thousands of fans. Holmes quickly became a solid presence in the band's live shows, touring extensively across the globe. His stage presence was powerful, yet humble. He wasn't trying to overshadow Ozzy, but rather to be a perfect complement to the Prince of Darkness's chaotic energy. The roots of Farmikos began taking shape around 2012, when Holmes started composing material with former Metallica bassist Robert Trujillo, and later with Robert "Robbie" Blunt, though Blunt's involvement was brief. Holmes eventually found his primary collaborator in vocalist Robbie Locke, whose gritty yet melodic voice fit perfectly with Holmes' dark, heavy riffing. The chemistry between the two was immediate. Locke brought lyrical depth and emotional weight, while Holmes crafted intricate, driving guitar lines that blended metal aggression with classic hard rock swagger. Farmikos was never meant to be a supergroup, relying on name recognition. Instead, Holmes wanted it to be a raw and organic project. To achieve this, he brought in guest musicians who could elevate the music without overshadowing its identity. Legendary bassist Robert Trujillo recorded several tracks before fully committing to Metallica's schedule, and Brooks Wackerman handled drumming duties on most of the songs. The lineup gave Farmikos a rhythmic backbone that was both tight and explosive, complementing Holmes' guitar mastery. In 2014, Farmikos began releasing singles online rather than immediately pursuing a full album. Holmes preferred this gradual approach, allowing each song to stand on its own while building anticipation. Tracks like Scapegoat and The Sound of My Gun showcased Holmes' ability to fuse modern heaviness with classic metal sensibilities, while Exit Stencils revealed a more atmospheric and experimental side. By 2015, Farmikos compiled these singles along with new material into a self-titled debut album. The record received praise for its uncompromising sound, thunderous riffs, sharp solos, and a production style that kept the performances feeling alive and unpolished. Critics and fans alike noted how Holmes' guitar tone carried the same fire that defined his work with Ozzy, yet here it felt freer, less restrained by commercial expectations. For Joe Holmes, Farmikos was more than just another band. It was a reclamation of artistic freedom after years of playing other people's music. The project allowed him to channel his influences, push his creativity, and leave behind a body of work that reflected his own voice as both a guitarist and songwriter. Even without the mainstream spotlight, Farmikos cemented Holmes' reputation as a deeply skilled and uncompromising musician.